Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to my Reaping Fangs in-game build for Black Panther for Marvel Heroes Omega for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So we have a nice simple range build here for the King of Wakanda, and in this video I will cover his skills and talents. We'll look at his synergies, infinity point allocation, gearing priority, and then at the end we have some gameplay to show off the rotation and how the build actually works as well. So if you want to jump to any particular section, check out the description, there are timestamps there. Otherwise we'll start off by looking at the skills. So the setup we have here is based around the range side of things, and we've got some harder hitting skills on our L2 as well. Now for our main skills that we're using, the filler would be triple throw, so you've got the 3 hits on this and bonus damage against chilled enemies, although I'm not quite sure where the chilled tag comes in. I can't see it in his kit, so if anyone knows, please do leave a message below. But the first cooldown skill we have is Jungle Snare. This is our first skill we use because it provides vulnerability. It works as a dot, immobilises the enemy, and it has an 8-second cooldown. We follow this up with Mobile Minefield. This also works as a dot, 6-second duration and 6-second cooldown. We then have Cryo Dagger, so this will freeze and slow the enemy. Now the great thing about this is you throw it out, and not only does it freeze and slow the enemy as mentioned, but on top of that, when you use the next skill, which is Fan of Knives, this will guaranteed brutally strike, and you'll see during the gameplay at the end this is really great for taking out trash, and this is, to be honest, the main skill I use for trash. I just wait till it's refreshed and fire off a big Fan of Knives. That brute, it really does look pretty great. But next skill we have is Unseen Predator. So this works as a buff. It applies concealed, crit hit rating goes up, it's an 8-second duration, and with concealed it's a 5-second invisibility, and through talents we've got it that it gives us additional buffs as well that actually help with our spirit sustain. But final skill here is the Wrath of Bast, which is your signature. Now we've got this set up so that when you use it, it will summon a pair of your Wakandan bodyguards. Now the reason we use this particular setup rather than the talent that allows the bodyguards to be out all the time is they appear to be bugged, and if they get defeated using their talent they don't actually respawn, so this option does appear to be the better of the two. Works as a steroid as well, so just bear that in mind if you're going to potentially pop this just before hitting your ultimate. That could be a good idea. But next up, let's have a look at the talents. Nice simple setup for these talents then. The first one is Focused Throws, so with this your main filler triple throw deals 75% more damage and it now costs spirit. We then have Reaping Fangs, so when you use Cryo Dagger, your next Fan of Knives within 6 seconds will brutally strike, and it also gives you a 10% bonus damage to range powers. Next up it's Wakandan Will, so Unseen Predator automatically activates when you fall below 30% health, so that is useful, but more importantly we have the buff that activates on this automatically, but also when we activate it manually, and it's a brutal strike chance, an extra 10%, spirit cost reduction of 100% for the duration, and 700 health on hit as well, so it's really great. Now the next talent is Patient Hunter, so Jungle Snare becomes ranged and it gains 25% additional damage. And then the final talent, this is the one I've talked about a bit earlier, is Pride of Wakanda. So when user signature Wrath of Bast, it will summon the bodyguards. Now in time, if it's fixed, you would want to use this one here instead, because this will have your bodyguards out with a higher uptime. But next up, let's have a look at the synergies. For the synergies we start off with the primary attributes, and that's intelligence and fighting, so that's covered by Beast, Elektra and also War Machine. The more generic synergies are Blade, Hawkeye, Hulk, She-Hulk and Squirrel Girl, and then finally Black Widow and Iron Man can work great because they provide melee and range damage as well as energy power damage, and quite a lot of these skills do have the energy power tag. But next up, let's have a look at the infinity point allocation, and this is where we would place the first 100 points. So we have a simple enough setup here. Because he can suffer from spirit issues, we use a Mind Gem and Deep Thoughts. It gives us 250 spirit and it gives us that 10% cost reduction, which really helps out as well. Now once you get to a point where you feel you can sustain your spirit, what I'd personally go for would be the Time Gem and Temporal Loophole to make him move around a bit faster, which can help out because he's not the tankiest, but it will also increase the attack speed on your main filler, which can certainly help as well. Now for the next section we will check out the general gearing priority. For this gearing section then, what I will do is give a general outline of where you want to go gear wise with them, and that means in future when new items come out you can use the advice given here to help you actually decide if you want to move about your items. Now if you look at the legendary first, would be going for the special issue emergency communicator. The reason for that is Black Panther's tags are a bit all over the place. You've got ranged, you've got energy, you've got throw, you've got melee on his signature, so he can be quite hard to itemise for. This, when you use your dash, which is a stealth power, it gives you 750 damage rating and 1500 critical hit rating. You only need to do that every 10 seconds, and also you have 1500 brutal strike rating, and the crit hit rating and brutal strike rating means that your itemization when it comes to your slots 1 to 5, your ring, your medallion is freed up a lot, and you can go for either spirit, your resource, or you can go for damage rating through your attributes as well, and either attribute is great on him because he has fighting and intelligence, so you can go for either one. The rank 4 with the summon is great as well to pull some aggro for you, and then the rank 5 is also pretty fantastic. If we look at the actual medallion, again, due to his tags being quite strange, I wouldn't use Mandarin. This one seems to be quite good on him. It's Bullseye, so when you use a throw power, and our main filler is a throw power, so we'll be doing it all the time, you gain critical damage and critical damage rating, so that works out pretty nice. For the catalyst, you will want some kind of spirit sustain on it, so you can either go for the one I've got, which is the 100 spirit when you use your med kit, or you can try and get 5 spirit when you hit, so it's really down to you. For the relic, again, you get a few options here. Personally, I'm going for range because this is the most of my tags that are ranged with the exception of the signature. But what you can do if you want, this is a little bit of switching around. If you went for Gibram here for resource, you could then choose the attack speed straight away in the infinity system instead. So it's really down to you what you go for. When it comes to the artifacts, look out for fighting and intelligence, but your more generic artifacts will work good on them, such as Gem of the Cursed or the Crossbones artifact. That will work really good as well because it's not bound by damage tags, it's just flat damage or flat crit or flat brute that it's got on it. Now that we've covered the gearing enemy, what we'll do to finish off the video is show off some gameplay, and we have a run through of the Sinister's lab. Now I will mention, as always, this is just to show off the rotation and how the build will work, because as you can see I really don't have him geared out particularly well. I've only got super heroic there for his boots, so yeah, I've not had a lot of time to gear him at all. But despite that, I hope the gameplay coming up is useful. As always, if there's any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll see you all again soon.
That cannot be done.